Welcome to Gloria's Gab Live. I am excited today to have a really interesting program for you. Malia Lindquist is Executive Director of the Ladies Empowerment Action Program.
You got it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff coming. You've got to move. You've got some events coming up. And you have so many programs. And I'm so excited to introduce you to our viewers today.
Well, I am excited to meet them. I'm one of those people on the plane you don't want to sit next to when I start getting to talk about LEAP. People will say, I will write you a check if you stop talking to me. I call it shut up money.
Yeah. It's kind of like persistence.
I know. I'm just so enthusiastic and passionate about it. And so it's like some people show pictures of their puppies or their children, and I have both, but I show pictures of the women because
I'm with you.
They're so awesome.
Yeah. So, I work for a lot of different, I volunteer for a lot of different nonprofits. I'm the same way, just whatever you want, I'll give you money. But before we start, I need to talking about people giving money and supporting us. South Florida PBS has sponsored my show every week for a long, long time. And they're probably one of the best resources we have in our community, don't you think?
Agreed.
Yeah, so, and super good programs coming up. And they have a new one, pre-K program for kids. Miss Penny is doing a wonderful, brand new, that's coming out. So for moms, first of all, you can educate your kids just by watching PBS.
Right. And to have the quality programming, that's so important
Big
now
time.
In the digital age. There's a lot of junk out there.
And then they have, come on, Ken Burns, One Nation, a bunch of great stuff coming up in September. Or wait, we're already in September.
We are there.
Yeah. So let's talk about LEAP. I don't even know where to start, but let's talk first of all about your move.
Okay. So in short, LEAP serves women transitioning from prison and jail, right? So we'd have the classes in the prison and the classes in the jail and transitional housing. But one of the really fun and more visible things that we do is we operate the Dragonfly Thrift Boutique. And not to brag, but we have won Best Thrift Store in Miami by several different publications over the years. It's really more of a thrift experience than a thrift store, I say.
Really?
And everything there is donated, and everybody who works there are women transitioning from prison. So it's a first job post-prison, it's a first paycheck. For women who really have limited experience working, it's an opportunity to get in there and get some hands-on work experience before getting something more permanent. It's also a soft landing. So when you get out of prison, there's a lot of things that have to be handled. If you're on probation, there's getting to your probation office, registering with the sheriff, a lot of doctor's appointments. And so there's that flexibility to be able to handle everything without the stress of telling a boss that you have to take off.
Exactly.
So Dragonfly was opened about 7 years ago, and for years we were in Little Havana, but we have just moved to a gorgeous space in South Miami. So it's at 5815 Southwest 68th Street, right near the Popeyes off of 57th and US 1. And that store is bigger, it's better, it's more beautiful, and it's also housed in the same location as where we operate our new Women's Reentry Center.
Oh, perfect.
So the Reentry Center is there where women can come and get resources, meet with our case manager. But there's also a whole community of women who work at the store to provide inspiration and community to some of the women who are a little more down and out.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, it gives them hope.
Exactly.
I go,
exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do this.
Exactly.
Right? But the stuff that you have in your store, I look at it online, I'm going, this is like a upscale retail.
It is.
It's crazy.
Well, so donations can be dropped off at the store, but I have a neighbor who's actually an immigration judge who's very busy, and sometimes she drops things off at the store, but just as often she brings them to my house, and it's very tempting for me to keep some of them. She just dropped off an authentic Louis Vuitton wallet, And I asked her, I said, Lourdes, how do you have anything left in your house? Because you're dropping things here every day. And she says that some things are hard to part with, even if she doesn't use them, but knowing that they're coming to such a good cause that she's glad to do it.
That does make perfect sense.
Right.
Because if I can give it to something or to a person,
right,
I'm more apt to do it than just throwing it in a bag and dropping it off at Goodwill.
Exactly, you know? Not knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Especially when they're nice things.
Well, I know.
Super.
So I know. So people sometimes say, "Are you a consignment store?" Which we're not. No. Everything's donated, and there's a trend to try to resell designer items, and then you get a percentage back from consignment shop or some of these, the Real or some of those places. And I said, well, you could sell this item and get $200 because they keep over half, or you could give it to us and then we could sell it for $400. And so it's a no-brainer in my opinion. And a lot of people, you know, we do men and women's things and furniture and home decor. So a lot of people, they just decide that it's not worth the hassle for the little money that you get back when you try to resell yourself.
Sometimes just take it away.
Exactly.
I won't miss it.
Exactly.
Exactly. And you know that it's going for a good cause. Yeah. So you have an event coming up though.
So we do have.
I know it's going to be sold out.
It is sold out.
It is already sold out.
It is sold out. But the thing that's really, it's called the Second Chance Gala, and we do it every year. So you can, for those who are interested, they can come next year. But this year we're celebrating 15 years of service. So that is exciting. And this year and again, with all due modesty, our events are so fun, and you know these fundraisers. Well,
the one I went to was fun.
Yes. Yeah. It's not. I always tell the ladies, I said, don't be a drag, just be a queen. You know, like Lady Gaga says. So this year it's an event, obviously for women, but it's by women. So our MC is Constance Jones from NBC.
Oh, wow.
We have an all-girl band, which are women in their 50s who are super cool rock and roll chicks.
How fun is that?
It's an all-girl band that covers a female artist from the 1970s to present. We have a performance from the Florida Grand Opera. They have a new executive director who's all about community outreach to underserved communities, and so she's already done. She did a vocal workshop for us, which God help her, because none of us were very good singers, but she assured us that we were fabulous. So she's doing all sorts of things for us, and so they're going to have somebody perform a song from their Magic Flute opera that's coming up.
Oh, that's so nice, though.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. And so we do it every year. I would say, you know, we have about at least 20 of our graduates who attend. And so it's really fun for them to get dressed up and to celebrate.
What's your capacity for this event?
Well, it was supposed to be 150. And then we begged the guy to add one more table, and so now we're up to 190 something. And
so you need to look for a bigger place.
We need a bigger space. If there's anybody out there that can accommodate us.
Where are you doing your?
We're doing it at, it's actually a really cool venue. It's in the that river landing. It's in a mall, but they have an events place called Suite 7, and it's beautiful, overlooking the river with high ceilings. You know, by Jackson on the river, it's a mall.
I think I was there for another event. Who was it for? It was another nonprofit, and it was really, really nice.
And the owner, Kenny, you know, bless him, because I did call this morning, the person from my staff. I said, can we add one more table? And she says, Malia, I'm not calling Kenny to ask him to add another table. It's going to be a fire hazard.
Oh no!
And so it's a good problem to have. But next year we'll definitely look for a bigger space.
But if people are too crowded and they don't enjoy it as much, then they're less apt to.
Exactly.
You want to make sure everybody has a good time.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so glad that you have so many people coming. That's great.
I know. I'm always afraid, since I was a little girl, that if I have a birthday party, nobody will come. And so, Miami being what it is, people buy their tickets last minute.
Oh, it's the worst. Right?
I just think if anybody put on an event, they would have mercy and buy their tickets early to events because it is stressful.
Well, we've gotten to where we offer discounts when we do Gala, different nonprofits that I'm involved in. You offer if you book early, you maybe save $50 or whatever.
Yes.
And they go, oh, okay, yeah, let's meet that deadline.
You'd be surprised. We did that, and some people did, but not as many as you think. Or we get people who, after the early bird pricing, they want the, and I am pretty firm about that.
Yeah.
It's just...
You have to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't work. And you've just thrown away money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is a celebration, but it's our biggest fundraiser of the year. And so...
So what else do you do to fundraise? Yeah, we talked about maybe grants.
Well, we do grants, but of course, with the Miami Foundation, we participate in Give Miami Day.
Oh, okay,
and that's
that's always a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one, and they really have the platform for us to do that. And look, of course, I love getting big donations. Anybody who runs a nonprofit, but the things that really just touch me are people who of limited means who give us money. I have one,
10, 25,
yes,
$5. Yeah, right.
I have one lady who is in her, I think she's 90, and I would see her name every month. She gave us $10, and I never met her. And one day she came in, and we were planning for Give Miami Day. And she wanted to up her monthly donation to 20.
Really?
And so I said, can we interview you, talk about why you give? And she said, sure. And so we just put our phone up there, and I said, so, tell me, why do you give to Leap? She said, I'm 90 years old, and since the day I've been born, I've been a feminist. And I think what you do is amazing, and I want to support that in every way that I can.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, so that was really nice.
So yeah, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So have you done any other testimonials? And
we have so many.
You put them on your website?
We put them on our website. We have our own YouTube. So our website is leapforladies.org.
Okay, good to know. And Leap for Ladies?
Yes. Yeah. And then we have a separate one for our store. So we do put things up there that you can buy. Yeah. And that's dragonflythrift.org. And if you follow either one of those on Instagram, we post, on the Dragonfly one, on Tuesdays, we have a designer drop. So our new designer items are featured. And so we're constantly posting to both of those. And for people who, are interested in attending an event, it's important to go on and follow us because we're going to be having a grand opening party at our new location.
Yeah.
So that's going to be coming up. We just going to get through this Saturday, and then we will be hosting a party. But then we host events. We are definitely a social bunch, and this new space is gorgeous, and it gives us the space. So
free parking.
There's plenty of free parking,
which is great.
Yes,
that's always a big plus.
Right? Our people complained at our old location.
I'm sure.
And so we're going to be doing a panel discussion on fashion because we have some fashionistas on our board.
Oh, you do?
Who are all about that. So we do monthly things, and sometimes we do more serious things. We did for Black History Month. We had a panel of women of color talking about women, Black women and hair, the sociological, the historical, the fashion aspects, and that was really one of our most interesting, most popular things. So we do things at least once a quarter, and when we're on top of it, every month. So that's always that's happening at the store also.
And all these things are listed on your website?
They're all listed. Well,
are they typically open to the public, or do you charge?
We never charge. Yes, we never charge. We're just so happy to be providing a space to discuss worthwhile issues. We've hosted other nonprofits at our space. We feel very blessed to have it. I mean, it's been a long time in coming, but we do host other nonprofits, and for people who want to do a fun little social thing. We'll have a little private shopping happy hour where a group of women will come in with champagne and have a private shopping experience. So we really want to be a place of community.
That's a great thing to promote with the women's clubs.
Yeah. It is fun.
You know?
We started doing it when people were more nervous during COVID.
Yeah.
And then it's just very festive. We have great speakers, so we blast music and we just have a good time.
The General Federation of Women's Clubs has 12 clubs in our district. And that might just be a fun thing for the district to do together. I'll have to talk to the district director about it. I'll introduce you.
Yes.
Ruth Martinez is the district director for the General Federation of Women's Club Florida, District 11. And she's a little dynamo, but...
well, the women's clubs are all dynamite.
Great.
I love them. They host us sometimes. Again, we're always looking to spread awareness and to get to know people in the community because I feel like to know us is to love us.
To love you. For sure.
Yeah.
So tell me, you started out as a lawyer?
Honestly, I tell the ladies, I said, in the interest of full disclosure, not only was I a lawyer, there was a period in my life where I was a prosecutor. And
really?
Yeah. So that's where I wasn't a good prosecutor, but
maybe you were.
I was just, she won't do it again.
Right.
But I made it at the state attorney's office. You at the time that I worked there, you signed up for a 3-year commitment. So I quickly learned that I did not have the heart for some of the kinds of cases that they have to handle. But I sort of migrated over to the domestic violence unit. Yeah. And so I could get behind domestic violence prosecutions. Sure. But I did learn there the inequities. People of means tended to be able to hire lawyers who get off. And I love the public defender's office and our public defender. They do amazing work, but they are they're under-resourced. Yeah, and so you definitely saw people with money being able to get off, and saw that a lot of the issues that led to people being arrested are not so much people being criminals as being poor. And so anyway, so then, I did other things as soon as I completed my 3-year commitment. But then I started off as a volunteer for LEAP, which I invite people who are interested, but warn them because we are like the Hotel California. You can check in. I started off as a mentor and fell in love with the mission and the program, and then found myself as executive director. And then 8 years later, this temporary thing that I was going to do just to help out temporarily is I'm here.
Do you know what? I was executive director of the Junior Orange Bowl. I started the same way, fell in love with it, and I ended up being executive director. And I'm passionate about it.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, because I think that for those people who volunteer, they find out that you get way more out of it than you give.
For sure.
So it is not at all that I'm that altruistic. It's just...
no, you get more.
I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, it's just a joy.
Yeah, it is a joy. And the ladies, they're so, of course, I support environmental causes, so would never discourage anybody from giving to that. I do myself, but there's less tangible. You don't see the results as quickly. So working with the women. Yeah, it's so tangible. They're so funny and smart and resilient, and so I get to go into work every day and see that
around people that you really like.
Exactly. And of course, people who work in the nonprofit sector tend to be really awesome. That's
what I love about the nonprofit world, is that everybody you meet, if they're involved in nonprofit work, you can pretty much count on they're a nice person. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, my best friends are all lawyers, so it's not that I'm anti-lawyer. However, to go to a bar function makes me want, I prefer
to have a root canal. It is so painful to be in those types of professional development, whereas I go to work or go to a nonprofit event, and it's just fun.
I have an attorney friend who said the same thing. It's like, I don't think I like to do this anymore.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But not to disparage my attorney friends. Lots of them are fun. But the ones who are, guess what? They're involved in nonprofit work.
Of course
on
they
the
are.
Side. So
exactly.
So there's that.
That's where you know the good ones, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So where'd you go to school?
So I'm actually born in Miami, one of the few, but I left Miami for school. I went to undergraduate to Emory, and then for law school, I went to Georgetown.
Oh, wow.
But I came back, and I love Miami. In fact, for about 12 years, I lived in Colorado. And of course, it's beautiful. And people say, why would you come back to Miami after that? And I said, it is so beautiful, but you go and you out with friends and they talk about, wow, that was a great hike, or that was a great yoga class. And yes, it was, but do we have anything else to talk about? and so
after a while it got boring.
I still visit there. I love it.
I need some action.
And in Miami, there's always something.
Oh yes.
There's the good, the bad, and the ugly, but it's dynamic.
It is.
It's just really interesting. And so,
and the cultural diversity we have here. You're right. There's just something going on all the time.
It is just going.
Hispanic Heritage Month is right now.
See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I did not even know
Black History, we have Spanish. Yeah. I live in Doral, so I'm especially.
Yeah, so you would be aware of that. You would be aware of that. I should, but in Miami, it's hard to tell because we do have this diverse community, and so I lived in Boulder, and they were very hypersensitive to how there was a lack of diversity. They're very sensitive about that, so they were very keen to celebrate every single thing. It's Tibetan History Month or whatever. And so I used to tease them. I said, people, you need to get out of the Boulder bubble.
The Boulder bubble. I love that. Yeah. So Georgetown, you must have loved that.
I did. I loved living
miss the
in
seasons?
DC. I do.
Yeah.
I have to say that here
But you can always take a flight.
Exactly, and I try to do that.
And not deal with the dirty snow.
I try. In fact, I'm going to DC. We received a big award, and for those of you old enough to receive the AARP magazine, LEAP is featured in there because our founder started LEAP after she retired, and they end up giving us a very generous award, but they're honoring our founder and LEAP at a big dinner in DC. I'll send you.
Yeah,
the issue just came out.
Okay, but you need to send a picture of getting the award.
Yes. I will
get it in the paper.
I will send it.
So
I will
everybody
send it.
can see it.
We're very excited about
you should
that.
be. Oh my gosh, how exciting is that?
Yes, absolutely.
But she retires and then goes back to work.
Yes, she did go back.
Was she a lawyer also?
No. She was worked on Wall Street, but she's definitely retired now, happily so. But she does still serve on our board, and she'll never leave us. She'll never leave us.
Yeah. Well. Obviously not.
Yes.
She founded you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So.
But yeah, I mean, and the other thing I think that's important about Miami is I do feel like it's known to be like a fancy place that's, fast, and a lot of movie stars and billionaires come here. But there is a large capacity for philanthropy, and interestingly, for what I do is called reentry work. That's what LEAP does, is help with reentry. And our mayor of Dade County, Daniela
Cava,
she supported LEAP before she was mayor, before she was a commissioner.
I believe it.
I would see her little donations to us. And since coming into office, she, along with the rest of the commission, they have provided funding for us. And as a result, we went from serving 40 women within the prison Jail is different from prison. So prison is women from throughout the state.
Oh, okay.
40 women per year doing very intensive work to going into the Miami-Dade jail where we serve 500 women per year.
Wow.
So in a short amount of time, we have increased the number of women served tenfold. And I really do chalk it up to leadership
well, she's amazing.
She's amazing. Yeah. But, you know, it really did take the buy-in from other commissioners who have been with us every step of the way. And so, and then, of course, it also takes buy-in from the Department of Corrections. They're historically not keen to have a bunch of people coming in. It's logistically a little bit of a hassle.
Right.
But I feel like there is a lot of support for what we're doing within our community and within the business community. You know, we have Telemundo.
Yeah, you were just telling me.
Yeah,
it is. You just missed a meeting there.
I can't understand their shows but I love that organization so much, and they approached us because somebody, Ashaki Rucker is their senior vice president of HR, and she approached us wanting to do something, and so with her leadership, they started a 12-week fellowship where a woman from our program can work for them for 12 weeks. And if you've never been to their campus in Doral, it's unreal.
Oh, yeah,
And they get to rotate through all the
different
departments.
jobs.
So they go,
That's great.
you know, of course, you know, they have program management, but anyway, our last one ended up with a permanent job. So it's been amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah. Listen, our time is up.
I told you,
time.
I know I get the hook. So
I know that's all right. You know, it happens a lot. So thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
Again, South Florida PBS, thank you so much for sponsoring us week after week. Dolores and Janesi and all the gang there, doing great programming and perfect resource for all of us. Until next time, make it a good day and make an impact like this young lady is doing.